Right now, the gaming industry is trying to desperately flail to downplay the Nintendo Direct. Of course, this has taken a lot of forms. People are saying the Direct itself was bad. People are saying certain games were bad. People are complaining about Dark Moon or all sorts of things. But, the big thing that I think we can take away from this Direct is that there are certain individuals who are trying to claim that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is not going to be successful. Oh, it's just another 2D Mario game. That is not a major game on the Nintendo Switch. This is an indication that the new Switch is on the horizon, that we're going to get it before the end of next year, early next year. That's kind of the narrative that a lot of people are pumping out right now, but it is, of course, a load of crap. This game is going to be huge. I think it's safe to say this game, at the very least, will sell more than New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which sold 15 million units. So, this thing could sell 20, 25, 30 million. This is the first major completely original 2D Mario game we've gotten in quite a long time, since the 2006 New Super Mario Bros. And that game came out in 2006, so it's been 15 years? It has been a long, long time since we've gotten a completely original 2D Mario game with new mechanics, new settings, new ideas, and that is very exciting to me. I can argue that maybe I prefer the visual style of New Super Mario Bros. But I've always loved the New Super Mario Bros. Aesthetic. I've always loved everything about it, and this game seems to be more quirky and more offbeat, more off the wall, and I'm not sure how I like that. I think it's there are things to be said that maybe there are things that New Super Mario Bros. Is in the long run going to have done better, but overwhelmingly, I think that Super Mario Bros. Wonder has been very well received, right? I'm excited for it. Lots of Mario fans are excited for it, but there are lots of non-fans, Nintendo haters, who are trying to downplay it, who are trying to say this game is not a major release, that it's going to not be successful, and that's just objectively wrong. And this kind of goes into what I've been saying since this last Direct, and I think a little bit before that. It feels as if you can no longer adequately measure how popular a game is going to be by how much it's discussed online, right? Because we saw this with Starfield, where that trailer dropped, and instead of realizing that oh wow, this game is about as bad as we expected it would be, the gaming industry in general did a complete 180 and started worshiping it and calling it the best thing ever, even though nothing it showed in that trailer was in any way interesting, notable, or relevant, right? And with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, we're kind of seeing the exact opposite, where they show off this cool new game, and it's everything that people wanted from 2D Mario, right? They got away from the new Super Mario Bros. Thing. They're focusing more on crazy new things, right? It feels fresh and original, right? But now we're seeing a bunch of people complain about that. We're seeing people trying to just make excuses to not be excited, and making weird statements about how Nintendo is out of ideas and can't compete, or it doesn't look as good as other 2D platformers. It's the same thing we've been seeing for a long time, right? I remember when this happened with New Super Mario Bros. U, right? I remember back when that was first shown off, and people on NeoGAF were seriously trying to convince you that 2D Mario couldn't compete anymore because indie platformers were doing the same thing but better, which of course was never true and never has been true and never will be true, but that was the narrative back then, right? Other games do 2D Mario games better, right? But that has never been true, and I think people are going to be completely taken aback by how well this game sells. In fact, I think people were shocked by how well New Super Mario Bros. U has done. And every time the subject comes up on 4chan, people kind of make excuses for it. It's just parents buying things for kids that they never use, right? Nobody plays 2D Mario. And that's such a laughable concept. The fact that people seriously believe that nobody enjoys 2D Mario is such a it's such like a PlayStation era thing to believe, right? That like the only reason you play these major Nintendo games is because they're Nintendo exclusives and you're a fanboy. It can't be because you actually enjoy this kind of thing. It can't be that you actually think it's cool or like that it's actually well made or interesting or fun to play. No, no, yeah. You're just a fanboy who grew up with this and has never matured to real games like Spider-Man or Horizon Forbidden West, right? That is the mindset that a lot of these people are still in. And it's been dying down quite a bit over the last decade. It's nowhere near as prevalent as it was a decade ago. Like whatever backlash I've seen for Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, it's very low key compared to what we've seen in the past. But there are very real things to kind of point out about like, these critics and what they're trying to say about this game, right? Of course, it's going to sell really well, in spite of what they're saying. Of course, it's going to be popular. Of course, it's a major release, right? Like a lot of these people don't understand that Nintendo can do gangbusters with a release like this. That's probably not all that high budget. That probably didn't take as long to develop as like Tears of the Kingdom or whatever. Like, these people are constantly making excuses to downplay Nintendo, and we are going to consistently see that more and more as the game approaches a proper release.